Back again for another conversation with Governor Jared Polis. This is our weekly standard invitation to the mansion to speak with you. What's happening with this walkway, pedestrian bridge?
So the results are in. 5 days, we had over 84,000 people reply to the survey, which is huge. I mean, that's like huge. I've done very small things in the past, had 1,000 or two. I mean, this level of interest is amazing, which is very exciting that so many people are interested in Colorado's 150th birthday, America's 250th. And overwhelmingly, about 94% don't want to do the walkway. So I am going to do everything I can to make sure there is no walkway built, and 94% of the survey participants agree with that.
You said you wanted a clear, definitive answer from the people. It sounds like you got it. Were you surprised by the results?
You know, I always don't know. Like sometimes the online buzz is different than the reality. Like I've been around this enough where I know, oh, just because people online say this, it doesn't mean it's true. I mean, I suspected that that might be the case. I didn't know the percentages, but you never know till people actually survey and do it. The other thing, I was worried that only like 2,000 people would participate, which I wouldn't have known what to do with as much. I mean, sure, that means, you know, top people did. 84,000 is a very good number in 5 days. It means that people were engaged, interested. And the fact that it was so overwhelming makes it very clear to me that I should do everything I can to make sure this doesn't move forward and it won't move forward.
Yeah, your office is the driver of the project. So if you guys say, let's not do this, there's no way that this happens.
I think so. I would have had to go out and raise the $10 million. So, I mean, what if other donors come forward and just say we want to do it? Screw that. I mean, my job would be to block it, but I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I think what I'm saying publicly is I'm going to chain myself to the Capitol Plaza if needed to prevent the bulldozers from building this thing.
Well, I'm glad you're willing to do it, and it wouldn't just be me out there. So, let me ask you this: Do you regret the way that the whole process kind of worked? Because we heard from a number of groups, from neighbors to historical preservationists to veterans who love that park, who were just like, hold on, like we should have been on the front end of this process and not the back. Do you regret the way the process played out?
Well, you know, I think that there's a lot of, again, 84,000 people are engaged and interested in this. And I want to talk briefly about some of the other things we learned about kind of how people how want to celebrate this. I don't think it was as much the process. I mean, I think had they been consulted early, Coloradans still wouldn't want this walkway. If I had to dig deeper, and this is just guessing, I'd say part of it is the tough fiscal environment that we're in. People don't want, even though it was matching funds from the private sector, they don't want to spend, you know, 8 or 9 million of public funds on this. I think there's some questions about people who liked or didn't like the artistic aspects of it. Those are probably some of them. I mean, I'm sure everybody wants to be consulted forever, but not everybody agrees on everything. But I think what's clear is that, again, with this kind of turnout, 94% not wanting this built, we need to make sure it's not built.
You were going to devote $8.5 million in general fund revenues under your discretion to this project. Do you anticipate taking some of that money and sprinkling it around to other projects being done around the state?
So people were a little bit more divided on those questions. So there were a lot of people who wanted no physical projects for the anniversary, and that was a plurality. Second to that was outside of Denver, smaller outside of Denver. Very few people wanted in Denver. And I get that, it's a big state. So I think it'll be some combination, you know, probably a very small projects. I think we can hopefully return some of that money for other uses. So we'll look at all those different possibilities. I would add, we're also working with the Sesquicentennial Commission. The state has a 150-250 commission. Separately and distinct, there's a number of projects that are underway that are kind of not permanent projects, but exhibitions. For instance, at our state fair in 2026, we're going to have a major 250, 150 component to that. Another big takeaway from this survey is we asked very clearly, which are you more excited about? America 250, Colorado 150, both equally won by a lot. So we're going to keep this branding that we had. We have this 150, 250 branding. We were thinking, oh, do we have to pivot to just talk about Colorado, to just talk about America? People are into both of them. And so you're going to see a lot of that branding. You're going to see 150, 250, it's country's 250th, Colorado's 150th, and people want to see both celebrated, presumably because we're proud to be Coloradans and proud to be Americans.
Mm-hmm. So the America 250, Colorado 150 Commission can't do capital projects. That's part of their deal.
Right, exactly.
So is there a lane for you to come in with some of those state funds to do some capital projects if there's support for it?
Yeah, I would say if there are, they would be smaller and outside of Denver based on this, right? Some people are happy doing nothing. It wasn't a majority, it was a plurality. Others want to see something let me actually take that back. It might have been, I can't remember if it was a majority or plurality, but I would say that, let me just ask that again and let me take another.
Yeah, so the idea
Yeah.
of taking some of your 8.5 million that you were thinking about for the walkway and using it on capital projects
Yeah.
for commemorations.
I would say if we do, it would be smaller and not in Denver. So I think first of all, at least some of the reticence around a big walkway was the cost, and so I think some of that money should go back and be needed for other things. But if there's something smaller, again, people were more divided. A majority or more people wanted nothing. Second was smaller projects outside of Denver. Very few wanted a project in Denver, a large project in Denver. So, maybe there's a way we can do something that's mobile and can be like if we do an art piece, it can be in Grand Junction, Pueblo, Fort Collins. Maybe it can be accessible to people and a much smaller and lower dollar amount. People are excited about the anniversary. I mean, the fact that 84,000 people responded in 5 days is an example of that. The fact that people are pretty strongly supportive of, again, 150 and 250 both equally is a statement about that. So we're going to do what we can to facilitate that, support the commission. If there's a way to incorporate art that tells our story in different parts of the state, I think that'd be something people are excited about.
Last question for you. There was a cost associated with the process so far. It appears about $1.5 million in taxpayer money was spent on this. Was that money wasted?
So yeah, it's likely between $1 million and $1.5 million. Obviously, we're going to stop and shut down any expenditures that would occur in the future. I'm hoping that some of it can be repurposed. You heard me mention art. Some of that was around a call for artists. We have a number of proposals that were not unique to a walkway. So there is a possibility that if the state moves forward with a art exhibition, either mobile or in a place that wants it, where there's outside support for it, we might be able to convey some of that over. Architecture plans for the walkway, that'll be on the shelf. Again, maybe some future governors will revive it. This wasn't something that we conceived of. This started Mayor Federico Pena, prior governor administrations. Obviously, these current sketches are the current architectural renderings. Those will be shelved. We'll make sure it's not built. No idea if they'll ever be taken off that shelf if the people want it for some other occasion. But of course, I'd like to see if there's a way that some of that money that was spent can produce some positive celebratory aspects for the 150th. We're going to try to do that.
Governor Polis, thanks for your time.
Thank you.